Hey guys. Welcome to another episode of Something Super Spiritual. As you can see, I'm here by myself. Cynthia Fontaine is joining us, and she had a last minute errand to run. So I thought I would just get started. Happy pumpkin spice eclipse season. Yeah, this is really like it's one of my favorite times of year. I love the days getting shorter. It's kind of like it's like the cozy factor is like coming on a little bit more and a little bit more each day. But then in the springtime when days start getting longer, I love that too. Of course, I love the winter most because I think skiing is my absolute everything. But then I love summer too because I love to sail. So yeah, I think it just depends on my mood. Granny, hey, it's good to see you in the house. Hi, Keith. Thank you for being here. Maria Andrews Morningstar, hi there on Instagram. And Sabrina Psychic Medium is here. Hi, Sabrina. Thank you for being here. Yeah, I'm kind of getting a slow start here. And I am just waiting for Cynthia. I had some really bizarre technical issues again getting on, and I didn't think that I was going to be on Facebook or YouTube, but I think it looks to me like it's all working. I see you guys on YouTube. Ooh, Deborah. Hey, Deborah. I see you're on Facebook. Okay. So yeah, people are just slowly starting to filter in. And hey, Cheyenne, it's good to see you here too. Cynthia and I are just really we're gonna spend most of the time just doing readings here with you guys. So for you guys that might be new here, please type in the comments, both on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, and LinkedIn if you're there. Type in capital letters if you'd like us to pull a card, connect with spirit guides, guardians, loved ones, all that good stuff. Granny, I'm awesome. Thank you for asking. I love seeing you in the house, Granny. I just like I wish that I was close enough to you to give you a big hug. Hi, Gina, and you too. That goes for you too. Well, it kind of goes for everybody, I guess. I just love to see you guys here every week. Yeah, Granny, I'm good. I'm really well. I am planning. This retreat is taking up most of my energy, I guess I gotta say. It's coming up in about 4 weeks. So although it's all planned, and although everybody's involved, I got my two amazing colleagues, Kevin and Debbie, who are joining me. And then I have 4 assistants that are joining us, and the 2 people at the retreat center who are co-creating this with us, and a medicine man from the Havasupai tribe at the bottom of the Grand Canyon. I mean, I've got so much incredible support, and it's all pretty much done. It's really just like getting there and doing it. But that's like the dreams have started. The anxiety dreams, it's got me, it's got my panties in a bunch. I mean, I have such for me personally, like, and this has been my entire life, like to know that I ever disappointed anybody is like, stab me in the heart. And I know it comes from my childhood of people pleasing and the perfectionist and all that stuff. All those wounds and traumas that we spend the rest of our lives trying to heal, right? So that's where it comes from. But these dreams, you guys, I mean, it's just bananas. This center that we're having this retreat in is absolutely incredible. Beyond incredible. The energy, the feeling, the space, the buildings, the rooms. Oh my God. I mean, just it goes without saying. But in my mind, in my dreams, in the dream, I show up and it's a dirty, old, used up, nasty smelling gymnasium. And I'm like, oh my God, what is happening? what is happening? What do I do? Everybody's on their way. Everybody's on their way. What do I do? And I start to panic. And all of a sudden, people are showing up in the door. And I'm, saying hi to everybody. And I'm truly excited to meet everybody face to face and see everybody and just have this experience with everybody. So I'm really in that moment in the dream, even though I'm in a dirty, old, used up gymnasium that stinks. I'm excited to see everybody, but then more than 10, 11, 12 people are showing up and more are coming in and more are coming in. And suddenly I'm talking to everybody and suddenly I'm finding it not easy to remember everybody's names. And suddenly I feel like people are getting disappointed because I'm calling people the wrong names. Okay. And then, so this is a 6-day retreat. We've got it all planned out, right? I know how amazing this is going to be. And seriously, I start speaking and immediately in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, do I have enough content to talk for 6 days? And I speak for 5 minutes and I'm out. So let's talk about like anxiety, people pleasing, perfectionist. Yeah, that's what's happening. But I know it's all coming up to the surface because this is all part of my journey in healing, right? This is all part of my journey in healing. So that's what's happening here. And I know that's not going to happen, but look who just popped in. Hello, darling.
Hello, darling. How are you?
I'm good. I was just talking about, how I'm feeling and the event coming up and the anxiety dreams that I'm having. But, that's just the old school wounds, bubbling to the surface that need to be healed and cleaned away. So thank you, I guess, for that, right? Oh, surprise. Psych. Oh, how funny. Maria Andus. Yes, I absolutely do remember you. Thank you for your message. I haven't had time to get back with you, but it's pinned, so I can get back to you. But I'm so glad to see you. I'm so glad to see you here on Instagram. There you are. Cynthia.
I don't know what happened. I was there and I was gone.
Well, it's lovely to see you.
It's lovely to see you.
I'm always so happy to have you over here, and everybody loves your readings and your connection and your personality and your energy. So
I love being here. It's always so much fun with you, and I love your audience. They're so kind and so much fun. And I see Keith is here, who is always helping.
Yes, Keith. And you know what, Keith, you have a good night too. He just said he's with his besties, so he's gonna go.
Nice,
so thanks for popping in, Keith.
Awesome. Thanks for popping in. Hi, Helen, Cheyenne, Granny B, Ibis. I hope I'm saying that right. Jess, Melissa, and Anja. I probably botched that. I apologize.
Yeah, Anja. Yes. Yeah, Anja's been here before. Granny. Hey, Michael Christopher. Yes, Granny. Ego. Absolutely. 100%. That's what's happening in those dreams. And Jess, yes, releasing expectations completely. It is going to be amazing. It's going to be incredible. Jess says she can't wait. So yeah. Hi, Helen. Helen from the UK.
Oh, hi, Helen. Welcome.
Oh, it's midnight late there.
It is. Yes.
Anya. It's Anya.
Thank you, Anya. Thank you. Sorry about that. So, so the Sedona event, you're a little nervous about that?
Yeah, I'm finding that it's coming in. Like I hadn't been thinking about it consciously where I'm like getting myself worked up, but it's coming through in my subconscious. It's bubbling to the surface in my subconscious.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Well, you're leveling up, right? So every time you up level, new things come to the surface that you are now ready to heal and let go of.
It's so true. I just happened to see something come by my feed the other day, and it was like what do you call a cinema? What do you call that? Where they put the letters of what the movies are. The cinema. They put the letters of the movie and the times of the movie outside of the movie theater. Anyway, it was
Oh,
in that on a movie marquee or whatever.
marquee.
And it,
Yeah.
it said the message was courage, if done correctly, is felt as fear. And
Ah,
and it makes sense because when we ask, for help, ask for bravery, ask to be strong. It doesn't just pop right in like magic. We are given opportunities to be strong and opportunities to be brave, So yeah.
yes, 100%. And that's what I was going to say, that when you ask for it, the universe, the divine will answer. And it looks for it, it looks like an opportunity. It's interesting. If I'm shuffling cards and, oh my God, have you seen this mini deck?
I haven't. I've seen her with them, but I have not seen them in person.
They are such a nice little size. I carry them in my purse. This is Colette Barry Reed's Wisdom of the Oracle mini pocket deck. It's great.
I love that.
So I'm just shuffling away, and mending fell out, which,
Mending.
Mending. It's an opportunity for you to heal old wounds, which you already know.
That's it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Spirit. Yep. That's just validation. Yep.
Exactly. Oh, here comes another one that flew out. Let's see. Oh, you're overthinking it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You're overthinking it. You got it. You got it. And the thing is, no matter how much you plan, Spirit's going to change it anyway.
Oh yeah. So I was just saying that, sometimes we got to pivot, and I'm just ready. And I've got such a great support team with us that is, it's just going to be amazing. So.
That's awesome.
Anyway, thank you everybody for your support and your thoughts and your prayers and your energy and your good juju.
Yeah, it's very, very exciting. Very exciting.
Should we just get right into the readings, darling?
Sure. Why not? I just want to say, we're still in the full moon energy, which is fabulous. So for anyone who hasn't yet taken the opportunity to clear some things out, whether it's clear your closet or clear your mind, let go of some things, do some forgiveness work, this is a great opportunity to do it.
Oh, you know what? It was a full moon it was an eclipse in Pisces, full moon in Aries, or vice versa?
Full moon in Virgo.
Oh, where was Aries? I thought Aries had something to do with this.
I don't know where Aries was. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's it makes sense. Virgo is also an archetype of Virgo is the perfectionist.
And yes, organizer, cleaner. Yep. Virgos like things tight. They like things clean. And they like to have things organized, but it's interesting, depending on where your Virgo is, you might be organized, but it might be a messy organization, so, but anyway, yeah, so this is still a great opportunity because we're in the energy for a couple of days before and a couple of days after. So take advantage of it. And if you have crystals, put them outside, put a vase or a glass or some kind of container of water outside so you can charge the water and have moon water to drink. Those are all some nice things. Helen says, Jeffrey, you're so lonely. You could make up a conversation in an empty room. Trust me, you'll be fine.
Oh.
You're so lovely.
Thank you.
Lovely. Yeah, sorry about that.
I will take that. Energy. Thank you. I accept awesome. That. That's beautiful. Thank you.
That is awesome. I love that. So nice.
Hey, Tori.
Hey, Tori. Hey, Michael. Did I already say hi to Michael? I don't know. Maybe it's okay if I said hello twice. All right. So what do we have here?
All right, let's see. Granny says, when that self-talk, ego, fear used to come up for me, I pictured a gremlin on my shoulder and I would tell him no and flick him away. Yeah.
Perfect. So I'm actually trained in a method called Envision. And one of the parts of the program is we use goblins.
Oh, yes, with Colette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you give it a name and a face and a name, and you can put it in a box to quiet it down. You can renegotiate a job for it. And a goblin is always born when you have a wound that happens.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes goblins belong to your ancestors and they come to you from your ancestors, but 90% of the time they're your own goblins or gremlins. Yeah. Yeah.
Darling, Cynthia.
Yes, love.
Heal with Shan on Instagram says, if I'm a Pisces and my husband's a Virgo, does it cause conflict during this time?
This actually was a really nice pair up, actually. So I would say I'm not an expert in astrology, but it was actually a very nice energy with the two of them together. It was actually really good for relationships, for parties. I actually had a big party on Saturday. What day did I have the party? Saturday. So it was a really good time for that. You know, the planets change, the moon changes every 2.5 days, things move. So even though it may have been good a couple of days ago or yesterday, today might be different. Things change rapidly. And you know, it's only the sun signs that when you look at just the sun sign, it's not always exact. I like to look at the sun, the moon, and the rising sign. That gives you a better picture of the whole person, whether it's yourself, a partner, children, etc. And the sun sign's very limited. It only gives you like one dimension of the person. And so again, I'm not an expert in astrology, but the energies this past weekend leading up to the full moon was really actually good. So
yeah,
I haven't looked for today, so I don't know what's going on today.
Yeah, I felt like it was too. I felt like it was pretty simpatico, so to speak.
Yeah. Typically Pisces and Virgo get along pretty well. So yeah, it could be something else going on. It's astrology can be so in depth. There can be lots of things that could be reflecting on it. My son's dad is a Leo and I'm a Virgo, and I never look at the astrology for the two of us because it's always wrong. When it says it should be, a great day, whatever, something comes up and it's like, yeah. So I never look at it.
Okay, you know what? We're gonna start here with Anya.
Great. My nervous system has been jacked up since having COVID. It's always a low level of anxiety. Any suggestions? Thanks. Well, I'm wondering, how long ago did you have it? And is the anxiety specific to anything like going out, getting sick, not being able to take care of your loved ones, or having someone to take care of you? I feel like that the anxiety is specific. It's not more generalized, but more, orphaned. There you go. So specifically, you know, the orphan card is when you feel like you've been abandoned. And so is there some anxiety around that where, oh my God, who's going to take care of me, or who's going to take care of my affairs? I feel like you have kids. I don't know if do you have kids, Anya?
Anya says over the past 2 years. So it sounds like she had COVID 2 years ago.
Yeah. So, you know, I find this actually to be really common for people who have had COVID, and even just coming through the whole COVID experience. There's a level of anxiety throughout society now that we never had before. It would be sort of comparison to, although it's not really a comparison, but it's the closest comparison, would be like if you were in a war zone, going through a war zone, you would always have anxiety after that, right? PTSD, Granny B says. So a lot of people have that now. And I feel like, again, it's really related to feeling like you're left behind. Maybe there's nobody to take care of you or take care of a son. Yeah, there you go. Because I felt like there was kids involved. And who's going to take care of my son? Yeah.
I love that you're saying this, because that's exactly what I was feeling. I was feeling like that experience of COVID. And of course, knowing that it was 2 years ago where it was worse than it is now.
Right.
You know, yeah, it feels to me like that really kind of like released, well, those old world wounds started bubbling to the surface, like we were just talking about with me. And it leaves this sort of that unmet fear and anxiety at PTSD, like what was it, Big Granny said that? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah.
yeah, and I feel like that is it, I absolutely second everything you said. And the card that came out for you, Anya, is let it go.
Yeah.
Release the past, forgive, soften, and move forward. So now, is healing that easy? Oh, sure, just let it go.
Let it go. Let it go.
I mean, I guess it can be, if we're approaching it from a really like positive standpoint, like, hey, I'm really ready to let all this go, and I'm really ready to, but we'll get triggered every now and then, and feel those sting pits every now and then. But it's
Right.
just to know in those moments that, okay, well, here it is. This is the illusion. This is that old world fear, and let's just shake it off and move forward the
Right.
best
Right.
we can.
Yeah, absolutely. And and sometimes that means getting some outside help. Sometimes it means seeing a therapist. Sometimes it means working with a coach. You don't have to do it alone. There's lots of support available out there for people. Whether it's PTSD, it's anxiety, it's addiction, whatever you have going on in your life, and this is for everyone in general. There's lots of help out there. There's lots of resources. You can go to YouTube. You can watch videos. You can do all sorts of things to get new information and to help to help yourself, because you have to take the first step to get help and to help yourself. And we can't heal with the tools that we have, because it's like swimming in a dirty pool, right? You got to clean the pool, and if you don't have the tools to clean the pool, then you got to get the tools to clean them. And so that's what I would recommend to if you can go to counseling, do that. And if not, then look for some self-help things, books, podcasts, YouTube videos, things like that.
Heal with Shan on Instagram, Anya. She suggested read, this is the title, quote, "The Body Keeps the Score." She says it changed her life. That book changed her whole life.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I like that. And I love books. So I'm actually going to write that one down too. Thanks, Shan. I really appreciate that. The
I'm
Body
writing
Keeps
that
the
down too.
Score.
I'm writing that one down also. And COVID hit for most people, hit the lungs, right? And lungs is all about grief. And we were grieving throughout that period, grieving the lives that we had that have never really come back the same way that they were before
Yeah.
COVID.
Yep.
Our way of life, a lot of marriages imploded, families dissipated. There were a lot of new families that came out of it as well. So there was some good, and there was some not so good things. And so now get some tools, gain some tools to be able to work with that energy now. And I said right from the beginning that our generation, and anybody born after 19, probably 64, 65, 66, even though there was the Vietnam War going on when you would be young, it didn't really affect us in a way because it wasn't here. And not as many of our family members went across as they did like in World War II. So the effect wasn't as deep as it was in World War II, where it affected the whole world. And so like your grandparents maybe, or your great grandparents, or for some who are listening who may be older, even your parents may have gone through World War II or the Korean War. They understood what it was like to go through an intense period like that. But anything from, we'll say, 1970 on, hasn't had that experience, unless you were in the military and you went to Desert Storm or something like that. But a general whole country hasn't gone through a big thing like that in decades and decades. So it was something new for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Granny B. Saint Germain and his violet flame can help. Totally. Yeah. I love Saint Germain and the violet flame.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
So you guys, I'm gonna name 3 of you right now. So just so you guys don't sign off, we're gonna go to Maria on Instagram next, and then Bernadette, and then Helen. Okay.
Okay. Great.
So Maria on Instagram, Cynthia.
Yes.
She says, "I'm at the end of a very bad tower. Can I please have a card?" So she's at the end of the tower card, and we know that tower card when the universe pulls out the rugs and shakes the rafters, and the foundation breaks apart, and relationships scatter, and
yeah. Sometimes it's family, sometimes it's job, sometimes it's your place of where you live. I've been through it, honey.
Oh yeah.
When that tower falls,
A real doozy.
Okay, so
yeah, go ahead, sweets.
I was just going to ask, how can spirit help? You said Maria?
Maria. Yeah, Maria.
What information can spirit give to help Maria through this period that she's been experiencing? Let's see. Oh, the card doesn't want to come out. The whole deck is just okay. So we're gonna do it this way.
Maria says, "I don't want to say it can't get worse."
Okay, so the card Poised is what came out of the deck, and it was interesting because the card did not want to come out. So the fact that this card did come out, it means it's really important. Poised means you're ready for whatever is coming. You are ready for the next move. You are ready for what lies in front of you. It's just not time quite yet to move forward. You are ready and you have everything that you need as this shift is coming to a completion. Now I'm going to ask one more question. And what is your right next action as this period, as you go from poised to moving forward? What's the right next action? Higher power, faith. It's like get down on your knees and ask for guidance, look for the signs, ask for help. We all have help. We have a whole team of spiritual helpers on the other side, but we have to ask them for the help. So this is really about you trusting that this period of time was in divine. My guides are saying it's an interesting choice of words. They're saying divine manufacturing. So it was divinely manufactured.
Totally.
Yeah. And so trust now that you've got what you need, and that spirit has got you. It's got your back, and it's going to help you through this. What do you got, Jeffrey?
100%. The card that came up here is metamorphosis.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. So it's embracing the transformation, and things are now different. You are a different person now. You're a different person having gone through this shakeup. And you are where you need to be after this shakeup. And I know, Maria, I know that you are spiritually minded. I know that you live consciously, spiritually on your path. So I want to remind you, and I feel like that you've already sensed this on your insides, but this shakeup has been eliminating that which no longer served you. And a lot of times that which no longer served us, we were holding on for too long anyway, because
I want to remind you. Sorry.
Because it's more comfortable. It's more comfortable than the unknown. And a lot of times I've been through this 3 times in the last 6 years. And each time, I absolutely promise you, every single time, hindsight being 2020, I look back and go, oh, thank God that hurricane came through. Thank God that hurricane was followed by, a massive fire that burned everything that was, all laying in wreckage all around me, oh my goodness. So this,
Mhm.
like Cynthia was talking about, this is divinely manufactured. You're so much stronger getting through this. You have a lot more clarity having gotten through this. And now it's just really about, well, like Granny just said, she goes, making room for the new. And that was just getting ready to say that with just different words. Yes, absolutely making room for the new, and holding that space of gratitude. And yes, Maria, it's coming. It is coming. So
Yeah, and can I jump in, Jeff?
go ahead. Yeah, go. Sorry.
So, whatever was happening in June for you, Maria, is now coming to a completion, and by December, you're gonna be 100% through it. And then it's like a whole new world opens up for you.
Yeah.
So hang tight, honey. You're almost there.
Yeah.
Uh, know that things are in the works. It's just not completed. It's not ready quite yet.
Yeah, you know what it feels like, Maria? And Cynthia, like when we're going through a retrograde, whether it's Mercury retrograde, whatever retrograde, and there's that shadow, there's the pre-shadow and the post-shadow. So Maria, it feels like you're in the post-shadow of this crash. You know what I mean? This tower card. Maria says my fear is having a home or is not having a home. My fear is having a home.
Trust, honey, trust. Right? That's where you tap into your higher power.
Yep.
And put out there exactly what you want, where you want to be, how much you want to spend.
Oh, absolutely.
Start focusing, visualizing it. Whether it's a room or a house or an apartment, whatever it is, visualize it. And most importantly, how you want to feel in that space is the most important thing.
And feel it now. Feel it while you're manifesting it. She's struggling with somewhere to stay. So excuse me. Maria, really go into that space deep on your insides. Remember that faith and that trust. I know you have that faith and that trust in spirit. And remember, you are spirit's equal. You are co-creating with spirit. So imagine, visualize what it is you're searching for. What lights you up on the inside? What excites you? Feel that light you up. And that in itself is energetically sending rockets of desire, as Esther Hicks would say, to the universe. So when you're feeling that excitement and you're feeling that passion and that fiery, like, oh, I can't wait to get there, you're feeling it like it's here now. So yeah, remember that, please remember that.
Yeah. And I felt called to pull another card about what Maria can expect around the housing. And it's interesting because serendipity and protection came out. And I want to read this because I feel like the message, the way it's written, is really important for her to hear. And, there's always Cleodon. So it's important for someone else to hear as well, whether they see this live or catch it on the replay. And perhaps you felt almost certain that serendipitous events were meant to lead you to something better. It was supposed to be the perfect business, that person that you gave your heart to, or it was supposed to be the one, yet it all fell apart, which can also apply to, housing in your home. Consider this: sometimes synchronicity and serendipity come together and lead you directly into difficulties in order to deliver an important lesson that you need to learn before you hit the jackpot. Don't get caught up in the drama of disappointment. There is really a silver lining in this cloud. Spirit always knows what you need and is guiding you to where you are meant to go. Pay attention to the signs presented to you. So this, completely backs up what we're saying. And, out of all the cards in this deck, this is the only one that says that. And it's the only one in protection that says that. So, know that sometimes spirit, and this is for everyone, we get into these difficult moments so that we can learn, because most of us as humans are knuckleheads. We don't learn things when life is easy. It takes the hard knocks to get things into our heads, right? And
Yes.
and so take this as an opportunity, and when you can flip that from and I know it's hard when you're I've been in the place where I've been days away from being homeless 3 times in my life. I understand the stress of it. You know, I had 2 kids and a dog and a cat, and you know, those times when I didn't know if I was going to be housed or not, it's very stressful. But trust that spirit's got your back, things are lining up, and have gratitude, 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 gratitude for what is here, what you have, and what is coming. Gratitude is the abracadabra, especially when things are the hardest.
And you know what? And honestly, when things are the hardest, sometimes gratitude is the hardest thing to muster.
100%. Yes.
Ah,
Yes.
seriously.
100%. So find something to have gratitude for, even if it's waking up in the morning, if it's having water to drink, you know, food to put in your belly, whatever it is, find gratitude in the smallest things. Find gratitude in the leaves on the trees or the flowers in the garden, whatever.
Oh, she says, I'm grateful. Good.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome.
You'll get through it. You'll get through it, Maria. I promise.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Bernadette, will you let me know that you're here, please?
Bernadette. That was quick. Oh. I'm hoping to get a message. Please, I'm feeling lost and lost. I don't know why I want to be like lost in space. Let's see. Is she still here?
Yep, she's here.
Awesome. Okay, great. Do you want to go first?
So, Bernadette, I have this feeling when I tap into you, I feel this sense of like start and stop, start and stop, start and stop. I feel like I'm going and then I'm not, or maybe the metaphor of like having your one foot on the gas pedal and the other foot on the brake. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that there is a sense of uncertainty and a little bit of fear on making this, moving forward. I know that you're saying you feel lost, but I feel like that there is this sense of I know that there's a transition that you're in the middle of. I know that there's a sense of shift, and sorry, guys. My previous question was what spirit has for my love life. I also don't know what spirit is which spirit is playing with my lights. Okay, so to go back, Bernadette, there is this feeling again, start and stop, foot on the gas, other foot on the brake. There's this feeling how that feels for me, specifically with regard to your relationship and relationship in general. I really want to remind you, I can feel your heart where I am. I can feel your heart. I can feel your connection. I can feel your sensitivity. You're empathic. You're very sensitive. You're very feely. And with that sensitivity comes a sense of overwhelm at times. And I just really want to remind you to visualize a bubble around you, a bubble of protection. And especially with regard to relationship, because I have this feeling that I feel this pattern of behavior, this pattern that is happening over and over and over and over again. And it's that start and stop and start and stop. And every time you start again, you're like feeling it's going to be a whole new thing, but there are lessons that remain unabsorbed. So here's the thing. With regard to relationships and manifesting that person that we dream about, that relationship of the storybooks, you know what I'm saying? Takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of healing. It takes a lot of trust and a whole lot of faith. It takes the place in where you are on your insides, where you are at a place where you are so confident and loving, self-love, self-confidence and within who you are.
Mhm.
Healing. Where does self-love, self-confidence all comes with healing. It all comes with compassion, grace, staring at yourself in the mirror and giving yourself grace, compassion. Recognize where these wounds are coming from, and they are bubbling to the surface over and over as a reminder that this needs to be healed. And with each scab, with each scar that continues to come off, you know, when that heals, the scab is gone. It's over with. And it's the same thing with the healing, especially with relationships and those patterns that we continue to pull in over and over, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I really want to encourage you to remember that you come first. Period. You come first. Your healing comes first. Your growth comes first. Your spiritual path comes first. And all of that is actually one and the same, right? It's all one and the same. So the and this goes for everybody who's, you know, feeling, you know, we're lost in relationships or struggling with relationships, and relationship, not just intimate, but friendships, family relationships, work relationships. You know what I mean? It's all across the board.
Mm-hmm.
But when you clear and heal those wounds that are causing this pattern happening over and over,
Mm-hmm.
that are reminding you, hey, hey, you know, we got a scab here that's been ripped off again. You won't have to go through this again. Go deep, be truthful, recognize those wounds, recognize those traumas that are leading to this pattern, because you are amazing. Oh my God, I can feel your heart from here. You're amazing. You're brilliant. You're beautiful. I can see you in your little picture there. Yeah. Well, go ahead, Cynthia. I'm just like rattling on and on.
Yeah, it's totally. I agree with you 100%. And you know, the first thing I picked up was that, and she could, before I even said anything, she wrote in the chat, it's connected to her bio dad, 100% connected to the father figure, and that's where it started, and then this pattern repeats. And I feel like that you'll do anything for love. I will do anything for love, right? And then that's what I'm hearing. I have this DJ that plays in my head. And so I feel like that you would do anything for love is what I'm hearing. And then when the pattern starts showing up again that you have become accustomed to, then you pull back, but then you go back and forth, and I feel like you don't get out of the relationships right away. You sort of see the pattern, but you think that the person can change, you think that it can work out, so you dive in deeper, and then I feel like I'm falling into an abyss, because then I get completely lost in the relationship, and I lose myself. And above, oh gosh, where did they do the first when they first did the first when you go to the temple for card reading and all that? I can't think of the
Oracle.
When you go to the oracle, above the doorway, it said know thyself.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So and this is for everybody, our relationships reflect the wounded parts of us that we need to heal, and we will get into relationships, connect to people most often. This is until we do the inner work and do a lot of healing work. We will connect through the wounded self, right?
Totally.
Carolyn Miss calls it woundology.
Yes.
And we connect through the wound, and then as we grow and we want more, the other person often is not in sync or isn't interested in growing. And so it's an opportunity for us to learn more about ourselves, more about what we will put up with, what we want, and to get clarity, right? And each relationship has the opportunity. Some relationships can grow with you, if the other person is willing to do the work. Oftentimes we see, because we know how high the rates of divorce is. Oftentimes one of the person in the party is not willing to grow. One person does the work, the other doesn't. And then you move on to the next relationship. And you just keep rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And either you're doing the work along the way and then you're going to hit the jackpot, or you just keep cycling through without gaining new information about learning about yourself, about learning how to be in relationships. And so, 100% Jeffrey said earlier about you've got to know yourself first, right? And so know thyself first. How do we do that? We come in with I don't want to get too in depth here because I could go on and on, but we come in with a primary personality profile, secondary, and a defensive profile, right? We all live through our secondary profile growing up because that's what kept us safe, right?
Yes.
And it's when we get to the point of crisis as an adult and our life is not fitting us anymore, what you're actually pushing up against is your life calling you to step into who you genuinely and truly are, into your primary profile, into your life's purpose. And you are your life's purpose. What you do is not your life's purpose. Knowing who you are at your core is your purpose. And then bringing that self to whatever you do in the world, that is your purpose. Rant.
That's beautiful.
I gotta pick up cards.
Yeah, that was really beautiful. I love that you reminded us about the wounds, and that is very true. The wounds in me recognize the wounds in you, and I love you. And let's go dance. and then suddenly, it's this dance isn't so smooth anymore, and you're like, like you said, one person's growing, the other one's not. Right. The other person's having a spiritual awakening, the other person's not. And
right.
Yeah.
And sometimes the other person can catch up, mm-hmm. But you have to be willing. So I'll tell you a really quick story with my only husband, my ex-husband. I knew in this lifetime that we were meant to complete a karma from a past lifetime. And, but he wasn't ready or willing to do the work. And so it took me a long time to let go of that relationship because I thought he was going to finally come around and start, doing the work, because this lifetime we were supposed to finish this up. And he sadly, didn't, but that was his choice. But he was a big part of why I got on the healing path. And so, in the next lifetime, we probably won't meet up because he chose not to do the work. And, but the relationship really propelled me into the healing world and everything. So look for the gifts in the relationship, in all of them, Bernadette. And this is for everybody. Every gift, every circumstance that we go through, even the most difficult things, has a gift in there for us, but you have to look for it.
Mm-hmm. Truth.
And yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Keith is sweet. He says, sending lots of love to everyone. Keith is back.
Yeah. Hi, Keith. Yeah. Thank you, Bernadette. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your love.
Yeah. Hi, Janet. Hi, Molly. Hi,
Helen. Where's Helen? Is Helen still here? After Helen, I'm going to go with Heal with Shan. Heal with Shan. Let me know on Instagram you're still here. Helen, if you're still here, you're next.
I tried to look at Instagram. It was loud. I had to turn it back off. I was like, yeah.
Okay, so Helen.
You're welcome, honey. You got this. You got it. A health reading, if possible.
Yeah, Helen. Or okay, Shan is still here. Okay, good. So don't go anywhere, Shan. Hi, Helen. Okay.
Helen, is there anything? I feel like that there's something very specific that the question is regarding, not just health in general. Is that correct? If you can just let us know in the chat. Oh, she's on Facebook. Yep.
I feel, Helen, I feel this, I feel something in my abdomen. I feel something in my gut. I feel this discomfort in my abdomen. Let me know if that's you. But I feel this almost like this ongoing pressure or are you feeling anything, Cynthia? And just remember, we're not doctors.
Yes, we're not doctors. We do not prescribe and we do not give diagnoses. We
But
do
listen,
medical mediumship, but we do not diagnose or prescribe.
yeah,
I feel like that she's either had a diagnosis or she's on the verge of a diagnosis.
yeah.
I also feel like that this is something that is probably hereditary. I feel like that it's something that runs through the family lineage. When I look to see and I ask, is this something of a high level of concern? I'm not, it's not like, oh my God, this has to be addressed immediately. No, I'm not getting that. Now, again, I'm not a medical doctor.
Yeah.
You always want to follow your medical advice from your physicians. I do feel whatever this condition is, I almost feel like, I don't know if she has fibromyalgia or I feel like a lot of body pain, and then also I don't feel like it's Crohn's, but it could be something going on in the digestive tract, in the colon, etc. And we could also be picking up for other people as well. So Helen, just let us know if that makes sense to you or not.
I think Helen might not be here. I think Helen was in the UK. Remember, she was, so it's almost
Right.
1:00 in the morning there. But so I'm just
Right,
going to say this
right.
quickly, and I'm just going to just message her. I do feel something in my abdomen, in my digestion, in my stomach. It feels like it's in like the colon, the intestines in there, and I along with that, it doesn't feel like Cynthia said, it doesn't feel like super dramatic. Feels treatable. But I also, oh, there's Helen. Hi, Helen. Yeah, let us know that that
IBS can be part of fibromyalgia. I did not know that. Thank you,
that.
Granny.
But there's also, I want to encourage you, like with this digestion. If we go back to old school Hayes, Louise Hayes, okay?
Yep.
We go back to old school Louise Hayes, where she was brilliant and so ahead of her time. There, yes, Heal Your Body, where she talks about the emotional, mental aspects that connect and tie us to our physical ailments. And with respect to the digestion and that feeling that I'm feeling there, Helen, what is it in life that you are having trouble stomaching? Like what is it that you have a hard time swallowing? What is it that you have a hard time, processing, emotionally processing, mentally processing? So I just want to throw that out there a little bit for you. And again, like I said, it doesn't feel overwhelming. You know what I mean? But just food for thought. Just food for thought.
Yeah, and I pulled a card asking, what can Spirit tell Helen about what about her situation, and it's yin. So that's really about relax. It's like there's no action necessary. It's more like allow things to be. Oh yeah, I had surgery and digestion has massively changed. Yeah, so that's the yin, right? So it's allowing the healing now. Allow the healing process. Reiki is a fabulous thing for surgery. It's a fabulous thing for stress. I highly recommend it. A lot of hospitals do it now. There are therapists, physical therapists who often do it as well. And, I know that they use it in Europe as well. So that's a huge thing. If you don't know somebody who does Reiki, find somebody who does Reiki. That can really help. And you've got to allow the new way of being to be, and that's the yin card. Is now you've got to relax, do some breathing, breath work, and you've got to take it easy. This is period of time is for you to relax, and it's for you to allow this new situation to settle in.
Yeah, and Helen, patience.
Yeah.
I know. I had a massive surgery back in November, and it takes a while. And you know what? Just heal with Shan. So Shan is a healer, everybody, on Instagram joining us, and she just wanted to pop in quickly for you, Helen, and she just wanted to say that moving energy, you need to move some stagnant energy, old energy, and this comes with healing, right? So instantly she says that's what she's getting. It's not bad. Breathe more and move. So yeah, move easily, have patience, allow yourself compassion and grace through this healing time. And with regard to that digestion, one thing I do want to say, now this is really like coming from my own experience: stay hydrated. Water. Trust.
100%. And anytime you have digestive things going on, you want to soothe the digestive tract, and like aloe juice is really great for that. You mix it in with a little bit of water, but again, we're not doctors, so check with your medical people to make sure that's okay. But aloe juice is a great tool for that. And remember, everybody, this is Helen, and everybody listening live or to the replay, you have a team of guides and angels that are there waiting to help you. And so you call in your guides, you call in your healing angels and your guides, and you ask them to help you through this process. I love Saint Germain with the violet flame. Really, you can actually use color therapy for healing is great as well. You can place your hands lightly on your abdomen or above it, and imagine that the color blue, silver blue, is filling your whole abdomen area, right? And the silver blue actually works sort of as an anesthetic. And after you feel like that everything is clear, then fill it with rose-colored light, and the rose-colored light seals it.
That's a beautiful visual.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Helen, too, one thing that I missed in the message from Heal with Shan over on Instagram, I missed her. She said, "We love you."
So beautiful. So beautiful.
Allow yourself to change. It will come if you're ready or not. Move with it. So yeah, just give yourself some time, sweetheart.
Yeah. Definitely.
Thank you for being here.
And she does say that she's drinking a lot of distilled water. If you are putting energy back into the distilled water, that's okay. If you need the distilled water because of bacteria, that's fine. But distilled water is actually considered to be dead water. So you really want to you need to put energy back into that. It's great if you need pure water, but it doesn't have any energy left to it. So you want to, you can do that a number of ways. You can write love on the container. You can write healing on the bottle.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. And she says, yes, sea salt, etc. too. Yeah. Helen knows.
Yeah.
She knows what she's doing.
She's right on it. So this is an interesting fact, y'all. I don't know if somebody Southern here. I don't know, but if you can drink gallons of water, but you'll flood your system out. But if you put a pinch of sea salt, Himalayan salt, Celtic salt in it, it will actually hydrate you, and it'll get into the red blood cells, where without the salt, it actually does not get into your cells. It's an interesting thing. Just a little pinch of salt.
So for Shan, the question that she had, and this is, I know there are a lot of intuitive people on here. There are a lot of people that are on, I know everybody here is on the spiritual path, but there's a lot of people recognizing their own spiritual senses.
Nice.
And this is a question that we get often. How do you navigate in relationships when you're a medium / intuitive? I feel like because I know so much and it causes issues, how do I navigate this?
Well, for me, I have to be careful not to jump to conclusions. It's interesting because I actually use less intuition in my relationship than I use more common sense than I use intuition. If it makes sense, right?
Oh yeah,
Be-
yeah.
Yeah, because it's hard to read for yourself and be accurate for yourself. It's a gift to be able to do that, but we get in our own way oftentimes with relationships. And so because we have skin in the game, we want things to turn out a certain way or be a certain way. And the other thing is sometimes we have wounding from the past that can jump into the mix and our goblins are running wild and maybe you think it's an intuitive hit and maybe it's not. I feel in relationships, yes, can you use your intuition? You can. But a lot of people, the other thing is we read through the lens of our life experience. So if you've had iffy relationships, if you've been cheated on, if you've been left, if you've had those sorts of wounds, then those are the things that you're going to
Project.
project and pick up on, and it may not actually be that. And I can say this from experience, and I'm a highly sought after psychic medium, and I can say in my own relationships I tread lightly and I always check in to say, is this coming through the wounded part of me? And I will often get to one of my colleagues on the line and be like, hey, I need some clarity around this because I don't want to be jumping to conclusions
Totally.
so yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Jeffrey?
I second what you said. Yeah, I mean, I do. There's when we're intuitive, when we're open, we recognize the red flags. We recognize and know what we will accept and what we won't accept. Mm-hmm. So there are flags flying in the breeze, and we can sense them. We can recognize, okay, am I projecting that? Am I expecting to be cheated on? Am I expecting to be verbally abused? Am I expecting to be left alone, while they're at the bar all the time? You know what I'm saying? There's all these things. But however, like you said, I would go to a friend who is not attached, who knows you well enough, but is also capable of detaching and able to give you a clear explanation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I mean, if you're seeing red flags with your, with your visual eyes, with your mind, with your, then you got to pay attention to those red flags, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
And, but for example, I've had my own instances with my son's dad where I've been like, sure, he was out or whatever. And, he wasn't out, and I have had instances where in other relationships where I was spot on and, and I knew exactly, got the hit, what was going on. And my guides directed me at the right time to the right place to, confirm what I thought. And so it can be mixed. Can be a mixed thing, right? But watch for the red flags. In the relationship that are, if any pop up, but intuitively, if you're not sure, then ask somebody who you trust that is that is accurate, because not everybody out there that does what we do is actually and I love y'all, but I've had a lot of experience with lots of readers, and not everybody does the work to clean the lens so that they're looking through a,
Yeah.
a clean lens.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is you got to do the healing work.
Mhm.
If you don't heal your wounds, then when you're reading, you're going to be reading through that wounded self.
Mhm. Yeah. Thank you, Shan. I know Instagram ended, so I hope you're coming back to this on YouTube or Facebook. But Molly, let me know if you're here. If you're not, this is a really good question. So let's just take a minute on this, Cynthia.
Sure.
She says so many people talk about generational trauma these days. Can you speak about that? Is it something that is like a curse or just repeated learned behaviors? I want to break all trauma patterns for myself, daughter, and our future family. First of all, that is a beautiful intention to roll with. Huge. It's huge. And that's not easy work. That's not easy work. So generational trauma, is it something like a curse? I suppose some people do call it a curse, Do I see it as a curse? I mean, at this point, that's semantics, right? It's call it whatever. But yeah, see, here's the thing. In readings, so often in mediumship readings, people from the upper generations, parents, grandparents, even greats come in, aunts, great aunts, people from all levels of our ancestors. They come in and they talk about, for instance, let's say mental health traveling through the generations, mental health combined with addiction traveling through the generations, mental health combined with abuse traveling through the generations. So yeah, these are absolute generational trauma that is without awareness, without conscious awareness, does get repeated over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And it takes the soul who came in to this experiencing that sort of trauma, whether it be abuse, abandonment, mental health, and addiction, maybe all of it. I mean, oh my God. I mean, just think of the paths that are out there.
Physical violation.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And there's a lot of it. And yes, you absolutely can break that pattern by addressing it, recognizing it, really viewing all of that through the lens of compassion and unconditional and really grace all over the place for everybody above you, for everybody who hurt you, for everybody, really going to that deep, deep place of radical forgiveness, radical compassion. It's hard because when we've been hurt that badly, it's hard, and it's by doing so, it in no way gives anybody a free pass, right? There are no free passes to any sort of abuse, neglect, whatever, right? There are no free passes, but this is us really taking back our power and saying, I'm not letting this roll anymore. I am not going to let this be how I engage through my wounded self. And I'm really looking at finding that next level where I say, you know what? Thank you for these lessons. I'm going to use them for how they were meant to be. And I'm going to look at everybody before me and say, you know what? I guess they probably did the best with what they had. And I'm sorry that they struggled so deeply and were in so much pain. But I am not going to let my children or my grandchildren, I'm not going to let anybody experience this ever again. That's how we move through it. And it takes time. It takes a lot of time. Go ahead, Cynthia. I'm just rambling.
Yeah, it 100%. And the thing is, when you have come in and you have made the intention to break all trauma patterns for your family, for your future family, you're a light worker, right? And we pick families that have a lot of trauma because we're the ones who can do it. And I speak from experience, right, with this. And there's lots of things that you can do besides the great things that Jeffrey suggested with the forgiveness work and everything. And there's some things that I have used in the past. There's one thing called constellation work, which is fabulous for clearing family ancestral patterns. It's Bert Hellinger's work. There, you can also do lineage clearing work with a curandera, medicine people. I do that work as well. Althea Gray does that work because patterns will repeat in families until the light worker comes in to break it. And that can be physical trauma. It can be mental abuse and trauma. It can be illnesses, like you have patterns of illness. I had a group that I did. It was the most interesting thing. It was the oldest or furthest deceased person I have ever dealt with. They came out of the 1400s. They were pilgrims that came into Massachusetts. One of the earliest, the first people that came into Massachusetts, and they were persecuted wrongly. And this was in the 1400s. And that pattern all the way back to the 1400s was still happening in that family line when I worked with this person last year. And so that pattern is repeated for hundreds of years, but now she has the opportunity to break that pattern, to break that trauma. And so she says, I always tell myself that I always tell myself that broken people have children, and sometimes we are those children, and it's time to break those patterns. Yeah, I mean, children can be one of our greatest teachers, and you know that not all broken people have children. Some broken people choose not to have children, and a lot of people aren't broken that choose to have children. I think I'm reading that correctly.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
yeah, when you know it's time to break the patterns, you know that you're the light worker that made the commitment to do this work when you were on the other side in this family group, and you made a commitment to break these family traumas and this family pattern for your children and for future generations. And when you do that, guess what? It actually heals the lineage all the way back to the point where the trauma began when you do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you
It's
do lineage clearing, Jeffrey?
not like that. I have not. No. No.
Oh, we'll have to play.
Yeah, oh, I'd love that. I'd love that. You know what? And Molly, the card that came up, interestingly and synchronistically, is cleansing.
Oh, there you go.
You know, I mean, like, you know, cleansing, releasing the old, energetic tune-up and new beginnings, and really just allowing, you know, all of that to, yeah,
Where
just,
and how the heck
you
do
know,
we begin? Well, you can begin. I feel like there's some codependency, so you can start by doing some codependent work. Melody Beattie, Codependent No More. You can read, you can go to a counselor, you can investigate the constellation work with Bert Hellinger. They have practitioners around the country if you're in the US. You can look at Althea Gray, you can book an appointment with me. There's lots of places where you can start. You have to feel it out and see what feels right for you, where to
yeah,
start.
yeah. Althea Gray, beautiful, beautiful human being.
Yes.
Cynthia Fontaine, beautiful, beautiful human
Okay.
being. But seriously, you know, and Molly, I've had hypnosis on my
Oh,
speed dial. I have had life coach on my speed dial. I have had therapist on my speed dial.
yeah.
Reiki practitioners on speed dial. Acupuncture on my speed dial. I mean, literally in everywhere, every sense, form, or modality of alternative healing, helping to clear the old, bring a consciousness expansion, and recognize all of that which is in the dark. You know, oh my gosh, I mean, angel therapy with old school Doreen Virtue. You know, that's
Yeah.
where it all started for me 20 years ago, and
Yeah.
Reiki, of course. But oh yeah. I mean, anything out there that is, you know, it's like it's making its way known to you. You know, it's crossing your path. So
Yeah,
like literally, is one thing better than the other? No, whatever resonates with you. What it's
exactly.
yeah, whatever resonates with you. Go
Yeah,
at it, open-hearted and just really ready to let go and make a change and heal. Mhm.
yeah, yeah. Body work can help tremendously. Craniosacral work,
Oh my gosh. Yeah, yeah.
color light therapy,
Of
Reiki,
course. Yes.
all those things. Yeah, there's many ways to get to the finish line.
Mhm.
And like Jeffrey, myself, I've used lots of those different tools. And
Mhm.
there's not just one tool, there's not one right way. There's lots of ways to get to the goal that you're looking for.
Mhm.
You have to feel it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
you have
you'll
to,
know. You'll know. You'll know.
yeah, yeah. And
Oh,
don't get trapped in the never ending story, right? It's like, you can do this. So don't get trapped in, oh my God, this is never going to change. How am I going to do this? If you look in the center of that uh, time glass there, I forget what you call it, there's a heart, right? So follow your heart because you can do this.
yeah.
Yeah, you can do it. You don't
Yeah.
have to be stuck in that sand of the sands of time. You don't have to be stuck there.
And this is a really great community to be part of. Everybody here is so open and receptive and welcoming and healing and
Supportive.
loving and yeah, so come hang out with us like you are. This
Yeah,
is healing. Yeah.
it is.
Brenda D. Hi, Brenda. Okay, so I saw something back here. Oh, Cheyenne. Cheyenne, are you still here? I think Cheyenne asked a question a little bit ago.
Should I be watching those? I mean, I am, but you're in charge.
Yeah, watch them. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I haven't watched them, but then I get carried away. Let's see.
Oh yeah, Cheyenne's here. Cheyenne, you asked a question a little while back, and I can't find it. Oh, Keith asked for a card a while back. Sorry, Keith.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Keith.
Oh, so did Michael Christopher. Oh, boy, I missed quite a few. You guys, if we miss you, please know this is purely spirit led. I mean, like we come to the places where like magnets, you know, spirit's like, okay, we got to go here, and we know that spirit takes us to those particular questions, comments, or whatever, because they're questions that the collectively will help and touch so many of us at the same time.
Yes.
So just keep coming back. Oh, there she is, Cheyenne. Okay.
Yes, 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 yes. And they're look for the Cleodons, everyone. So if somebody else is getting a question, it has a question and they're getting an answer, or there's something that we're saying that resonates with you, know that that message is also for you. It's called the Cleodon.
Cleodon.
Yep. Cleodon.
Yeah, that's that's a Colette Baron Reed term, isn't it?
I don't know if she coined it, but she definitely uses it.
I remember her talking about it years and years and years and years ago.
Yes.
Cleodon. So yeah, if it touches you, if it resonates, you were supposed to hear it.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, Cheyenne, my grandmother has been in and out of the hospital recently. Can I get a reading about that or a healing for her? So here's the thing about readings for other people. And I don't know if Jeffrey follows this, but because your grandmother's not here, I can't actually give a reading for her because I don't have her permission. Because then that's like going into somebody's mail and looking at their mail or looking through their underwear drawer or whatever. And I know your intention is pure, Cheyenne, but it's taboo on the spirit in the spirit world, right? It's not ethical. What we can do for her or for you is we can ask, what do you need to know about your grandmother and her healing?
And the situation. Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
situation, but we
As a
cannot,
yeah.
yes, as it pertains to your grandmother.
Yep.
Hope that is okay.
Yep. So and she gets it. So Cheyenne, one of the first things I really felt like I just wanted to remind you is that although it's very scary when things like this happen. You're very open. You're very much an empath. You're a super feeler. So I know what it feels like to feel it as sharply as we do, and that comes with that fear, because our loved ones, we don't want to see them in pain. We don't want to see them in the hospital, and we don't want to see them go, So more than anything, I just want to remind you that she, along with you have so many guides, guardians, healing guides, angels, loved ones on the other side that are standing with her and you through this difficult process. And I also know, I can feel your heart from here. I also know that you're really spiritually connected. I know that you have faith, and I know that you can trust. So I really want to remind you to go back into that space and see her for where she is, and just ask for that healing. To just ask for that healing for her. And you are your own healer. You have your own divine right as a healer yourself. So, intentionally send her healing energy as well. And just remember, that's all very real. You're a light worker, you're a healer, you are here, whether you have been, attuned to any of the modalities or not, you having that intention, you are first and foremost a spiritually connected divine soul. So you got it. And the fact that you're here tells us that you're walking this path consciously. So you can do it. But I just really want to remind you, you go deep. Remember, everybody has their path. Trust and have faith, and just know you do everything you can possibly do. And that's your praying, that's your healing, that's your talking to heaven. However that looks.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. And that goes for everybody, right? We're all spiritual beings first.
Yeah.
We're humans second. And here's an interesting thing also is sometimes if you have too many healers working on a case, the person can go into a crisis, a health crisis. So you have to be really careful about healing work. You don't want to overwhelm a person, especially if they're in a fragile state. And I feel like her grandmother is in a relatively fragile state. And so you need to be careful about that. And there should be one healer sort of who is in charge of the case. If you're asking other people to send healing, and people shouldn't do healings on the same day, when you really get into I feel like this case is a little bit complicated. And so when you get into any healing work, you want to be sure that 20 people aren't sending healing at the same time, because you could send that person into overwhelm and the body into shock, and they could go into healing crisis. I've seen it happen firsthand. And it's so you don't want to do that. And so Cheyenne says when her grandmother passed away. Okay, so she has one grandmother on the other side, it looks like. So the cards that I picked, Cheyenne, it's really sort of it's a reminder, and it's a nice message in the way. It's like, remember the happy times with your grandmother, right? And I feel like that you want to talk to her, you want to reminisce, remember those happy times. Treasure Island and protection came up next, which is, you want to be careful that you're not thinking the worst. You have to be realistic in situations like this. And this is for everyone who has somebody who's in a health crisis right now. You try not to think of the worst. And I feel like it's like shaking the coins out for this card. I don't know why. So it could be that it's costing money that she doesn't have. How are we going to pay for this? I feel like that can be a factor. But in the end, there's blessings to be had. The situation will be blessed. And know that the key and most important thing is for you to talk about and remember the happy times that you've had with her and so forth. And so I think this is separate. I'm not sure. When my when my other grandmother passed away, that's when I started my own journey. She came through me, um, came through a medium unexpectedly. Yeah, great.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Cheyenne, you've got the juju. So everybody send Cheyenne and her grandmother a little extra love.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a difficult place. It's a difficult place to be. It really is. So yeah, just
Yeah, so Cheyenne,
breathe.
that was about your grandmother in and out of the hospital. Cause I was asked for clarification. Was it about reading or healing for her, or on her relationship? That was definitely for your grandmother.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You're welcome.
All right, you guys. You know what? It's been almost an hour and a half. Holy cow!
Oh my God.
There's been some really beautiful messages tonight.
There has been. It's always so much fun with you.
It really is. Yeah, it really
go
is.
on and on for hours, I think.
Yeah, you guys, thank you so much for being here. I know I say this every week, but I know that, there are so many places your attention can be, and I'm just so honored and grateful that you're here hanging out with us and talking spirit and talking healing and sharing your vulnerability with your fears and your health problems and your lost loved ones and your spaces of fear right now. It's just, we're living the human life.
Boy, that is for sure. We are living the human life. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And as things are getting more tense, not just here in the US, but in other places around the world as well, when you come into spaces like this is where you can get respite, right? This is where you can recharge your batteries.
Yeah, refill your cup.
Right? And if you get overwhelmed, turn off the news, turn off the social media, turn off the things that are friction creators and attention grabbers, and get out in nature. Put your feet on the ground, touch a tree, take some nice deep breaths. Even if you live in the city, you can find a little patch of grass somewhere and put your feet on it and just stand there for a few minutes. I even do it in the winter, even if there's snow on the ground.
Oh, I love the snow on the ground.
Oh, but I do too. I do too.
Yeah, I pulled one card for everybody right now, and it's really apropos. This card is let it rain. Just let it rain, allowing what is, inevitability, and trust. So Cheyenne, let it rain. Just let it rain, and just trust. Remember, even though the rain, if we have plans to be out at a picnic, or if we're going sailing, or if we're, whatever, we feel like it ruins the day, but there's such cleansing with that rain, that water is life-giving.
Right.
And so are the struggles and challenges that we go through here. Life-giving. It's how we grow. It's how we expand our consciousness when we are aware. So I'll just let it be. Let it be. We can only do the best we can do. We can only do the best we can do. And we've got to do it without expectation or demand as to how we feel it needs to end up, show up, the results, whatever.
100%, because it's that expectation that is what trips us up.
Yeah.
Right. And change your perspective, right? Look at when it rains, what do the kids do? The kids want to go out and play in it.
Yes.
They want to have fun. They want to stomp in the puddles. When we used to put our bathing suits on when my kids were little, and we'd ride our bikes through the puddles.
Yeah.
So sometimes you got to change your perspective, right? And
Totally.
Don't let the weather ruin your fun. And the weather in this case, of course, is
challenging times.
Yes, challenging times. Yes. Yes.
Granny B, yes, most benevolent outcome. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you just trust. The rain. I used to run. I used to run and run and run and run. And running in the rain was one of my favorite things to do. Even if I ran that morning and it started to rain in the afternoon, I would change clothes and go out and run in it.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, there's something so healing and magical and playful and elemental about that whole experience of being with, Mother Earth, Gaia, the rain, just the energy of it all. Just, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, water can be so clearing, right? Whether it's
Yeah,
the rain or it's swimming in the ocean or even standing under the shower.
totally.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, all right, you guys, Cynthia, thank you so much for being here with us again.
Thank you, Jeffrey. I have the best time with you and your audience. You have the most kind, supportive group here. I really, really love being here, and I love and appreciate you so much.
Well, I love and appreciate you so much. We're all a member of our mutual admiration club here.
We are.
So,
We are. It's a nice club to be in.
yes. All right, you guys, you have a wonderful week. Tomorrow, I'm doing a pop-up, last minute pop-up with a spiritual blacksmith. She is a healer. She is truly amazing, gifted healer, psychic medium. And we're just doing a little pop-up tomorrow, same time, 4:00. So if you're around, please come.
On. Stay
All right,
tuned.
you guys.
Stay tuned and tune in tomorrow, folks.
Mwah. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.